So what do you get when you mix a 𝘠10E4 with a Astron REX? You get this thing. XM66F Premium Tier 8 American Tank Destroyer. It's like a mini E4 without the Commander Cupola, the M1 tumor on top, or like a American version of a Contra Caro 64, the Vipera. I mean, we don't have a high tier premium turreted American Tank Destroyer. The TS60 doesn't count, it's not premium, and the TS5 is not a turret, obviously. So, yeah, whatever, I guess. We do need one, but there's no high tier American Hellcat at tier 8. That would be great, but that goes to the Czech Ship TVP 100. It's not a bad looking vehicle, but kind of reminds me of the Astron REX with the pan shape turret design compared to the box that's on the Vipera. But 120 single shot. It has the turret armor, but haul down tactics. Not a fully traversable turret. It's a pseudo turret. So, like with the TS60, but a lot more limited compared to 136. It's only 30 per side, so not even close. Alright, let's take a look at the stats. It is a 120, so 400 alpha. Penetration is alright. It is good for a heavy tank, but tank destroyer wise, it is the same ballpark as the Vipera. A little bit better, but still heavy tankish. Shell velocity is actually quick. APCR shell is decent enough in terms of velocity, but not as good penetration compared to like 300mm or 350. It is APCR, so it's like a Vipera. High explosive is not as good as the Italians, only 60. And reload time is 10 seconds. You could put a rammer on this thing, so that's good, but accuracy aim time is actually better than the Italians, so that's nice. 10 degrees of gun depression, 20 elevation, 30 degrees per side, so it is more limited compared to 90 total on the Vipera. 40 rounds, fits all the crews of high tier American TDs without the radio operator, so cannot really train the lower tiers like the Hellcat or the Jackson for that matter. Top speed of 35, reverse of 12. Okay, decent heavy tank. It is a tank destroyer after all. 13.6 horsepower per ton ratio. Have to see the actual terrain resistance, but most American TDs are not that great. They get bogged down pretty easily, so we'll have to see. Hull traverse 26 degrees per second. Gun traverse is the pseudo turret traverse, which is kind of slow, only 16, but 1300 health, 95 hull armor at the front. Now it is sloped, but 95 is nowhere near as good as the 270-ish or 250-ish on the Vipera for the upper plate, so definitely not as strong in terms of hull armor. On the slope, it's a little bit better slope, but still 95 is not that great. It is 230 for the rounded turret front, but actually that might be better than the Vipera. Vipera is flat, but it is thick, so it can't haul down obviously. And the Commander Cupola is not as big as the E4, but still more prominent than the Italians. Give or take. There are a few good aspects, there are a few bad aspects. The good aspect is it's rounded. The bad is more weak spots. 380 meters of view range. It's a little bit better than the Italians. Radio standard. AP, APCR, high explosive. It's obviously different than this thing. This thing is like a heavy tank, practically. But jumping to the Vipera in my garage, I think it is switchable between the two. But I think you'll have a better time with the Vipera because it's not as bad in terms of cupola. So not as big, even though its high calibers will overmatch these hatches right here. It is 275 for the hull front or for the turret front, and 210 for the turret front. Now effectively it's a little bit thicker because it's sloped, but debatable. It's like what, 290 effective and 240-ish to 240, 277 effective. Holy crap, that is thick. So 95 I don't think is as good as the 𝘲𝘲𝘀, but it's not autoloader, so better DPM, obviously. Yeah, better DPM. 2,500 DPM without a rammer. And accuracy and aim time is better than the 𝘲𝘲𝘀, so that's a big plus. Even though gun arc is not as good. So, yeah, 𝘲𝘲𝘀 has 2,000 DPM without the rammer thing. Ugh. Same health and just a little bit better gun arc, but still slow to traverse the pseudo turret. It's even slower for the American. Less pen for the Italian. The same alpha. Oof. Yeah. I even have equipment on mine. Yeah, I have equipment on mine to help out with the accuracy, and still that bad compared to the baseline. So, yeah, base accuracy, base aim time is better, but armor-wise, debatable. Mobility-wise, it's a little bit faster. Let's see. Better top speed, better horsepower per ton ratio, better hull traverse. Yeah, it could be faster depending on terrain resistance. It weighs more too, surprisingly. Alright, weighs a little bit more. By like 5 tons or so. Camo, not as good as the TS5. TS5 is like 15, but about the same as the 𝘲𝘲𝘀. About the same. A little bit worse. And view range is... I think this thing is like a little bit worse. View range 360. Ugh. Compared to 380. Yeah, view range is obviously better on this thing. Alright. It's a ass end, and the ass is usually weak, like with the E4. So if you side scrape, don't show the ass. But then again, you don't really side scrape that much. Pseudo turret, right? It is a versatile tank destroyer, whereas the 𝘲𝘲𝘀 is assault. So hull armor is definitely not as strong, I think. I like my 𝘲𝘲𝘀. It is a decent heavy tank, disguised as a tank destroyer, but could this do the same? That is the big question. 40 rounds compared to 50 on the 𝘲𝘲𝘀. It's an autoloader, give or take. Shell velocity is about the same, I presume. 1,000, 1,200, and 1,000 compared to a little bit better shell velocity, but not as good penetration. Also, yeah, not as good penetration on the high explosive. You don't really use high explosive with the weird autoloader. You should use it with the single shot, but yeah, faster shell velocity is somewhat decent. Compared with the TS5, less pen, less DPM, but obviously better angles. It is only 10 degrees per side. Oh, that's crap. Compared to 30 per side, that is great. Accuracy is a lot better. Aim time is a little bit longer, unfortunately. Less DPM, less health. But you do move faster. Weighs 5 tons less with the same horsepower engine. So horsepower per ton ratio is obviously better with better top speed, better hull traverse, not as good camo, but better view range. Ooh, is it good? That is a big question. You obviously will want a rammer on this thing. Now, second equipment is definitely, I think, vents to help out with the aim time, the accuracy, and all the other stuff. So vents will be nice, especially coupled with field modification, but I think the equipment loadout is practically the same as the 𝘲𝘲𝘀. You could put turbocharger instead of optics, but obviously rammer instead of enhance aiming or improve aiming. this thing cannot put a rammer, duh. Do you really need a enhanced gun lane drive? Yeah, more DPM is better. Add a rammer. Turbocharger or optics? I mean, 380 meters of view range is decent for a heavy tank. Having optics is good, but if you want to have a decent mobility in an open field map, definitely go with turbocharger. Optics is more suited to city brawling, like with 𝘝𝘓𝘃𝑠𝑡𝑜𝑟f, whereas turbocharger is more for Prokhorovka, obviously. I say optics. You're a heavy tank. You're playing as a heavy tank. Definitely optics. Field mods are the same. They don't have a difference at lower tiers, especially for tier 6, but tier 8s are the separation point. So only for tier 9s and 10s, they're different, but definitely go with better terrain resistance and track durability. This is a big no-no, so choose the first one. Accuracy or aim time? Ooh, I choose accuracy on my Vipeira, but it already has garbage accuracy baseline, so compare with the 𝘝𝑪66F, I say accuracy could use a buff, but 2.2 is relatively okay, so jump that up to 2.3 or 2.4. You have like 0.34 accuracy, or at least 3.5. Yeah, definitely I say go with the accuracy. And obviously view range, instead of camouflage after firing, because this one is useless. If you fire the gun, your camo is already at 2.5. It doesn't matter, so choose better view range. How good would I rate this thing compared with the Vipeira? Vipeira is a very good vehicle based on the armor, but this thing doesn't have as much hull armor compared to the Italians, and more weak spot for the turret front. Not as big as the E4, but still, it is a Commander Cupola weak spot. And there is a lip for... Wait, that is the loader cupola. That is the Commander cupola. Which one's the Commander? Commander usually have more periscopes on top. Yeah, that is the Commander. That is the loader. But still, it is a cupola to be shot at. And there's the lip. There's also somewhat of a lip right here. And this part for the gunner is somewhat flat. So, have to see the actual armor profile to make a good adjustment or rating. But I would say still decent at hull down position. It is more in line to camp in the back than push forward, like with the Vipeira. You could snipe with this thing, but it is still a heavy tank-ish. So increase the distance to engagement by a little bit compared to the Vipeira, and I would say about 6, maybe 5.5, depending on armor. But side armor is garbage. 50. You don't side scrape with this thing. And it is rounded, so I mean, if you can shoot at the 50mm right here, that would suck. So we have to see the actual armor profile, but we're missing a Hellcat at tier 8. We're not missing a T-28 prototype at tier 8 for a premium tank, but whatever. I mean, these will likely show up in holiday ops, most likely, so I wouldn't be mad if I got one. It is not that crap, so I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. 6 out of 10 for now. Well, there you go, folks. The 𝘝𝑪66F Premium Tier 8 American Tank Destroyer. Hopefully we'll get to see more actual historical vehicles. That's not gonna happen. This is made up by whatever. There's so many projects, but who the hell knows the historical accuracy of these things? Nobody knows. Well, as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.